Hello, welcome to my uh, weekly Wednesday chat. Welcome. Um, Let me s- make sure I have everything set up correctly so that I can see um, people comments. Bear with me. At least now I know where to go and look and not leave people hanging for the most part. I try my best to respond to everyone that posts in the live chat so that everyone that want to participate can participate. Well, hello, it's Wednesday. As you can see, I have my sweatshirt on, Steelers color. Um, Crazy game. I don't know what to say, and it's not worth saying. But congratulations to the Chief. Um, a really good team. I'm happy for Andy Reid because I think I felt that he got a raw deal in Philadelphia. So best of luck to the Chief against New England. I don't give the Steelers much of a chance without Antonio Brown and Ben with a bad shoulder. Denver's gonna be all out for the revenge, so it's not gonna be an easy game. And without AB, without D'Angelo Williams, I'm not all that sold on the backup to D'Angelo Williams. Those two running backs, T and T, people like to nickname them. One game does not make you know it's hard to judge those two young running backs on one game. Um, let's see how they do against Denver, especially if Antonio Brown is not playing. Denver defense is gonna make sure that to shut down the running game and force Ben into throwing situation with his bad shoulder. They're gonna tee off on a passing game, so it could be an ugly game for the Steelers. Um, that being said, it's Wednesday. It's actually cold in Florida for the first time this winter. The temperature has dropped down to the mid 40s at night, and during the day it's in the low 60s. So it's nice during the day. You can wear a sweatshirt. I still wear shorts, um, and it's pleasantly enjoyable. Um, for the first time, all for the past week, the AC did not turn on, and it's been nice. I had to say I enjoy winter season like this. um, Speaking of, well, as far as for this chat, comic books, I bought something from the CGC forum, just a Silver Age X-Men, nothing special, something that I need to replace a slab that I have. So when it come in, I will show it. But uh, other than that, I did not buy a heck of a lot of stuff. Um, on the movie front, for those that saw my review, I did see The Revenant. The Revenant was enjoyable. It's like I said, it's a good movie. I have high expectation because there's a lot of buzz for that movie. Um, I don't think I was disappointed, but at the same time, the movie didn't blow me away. I don't know how other people feel about it. For me, it was a good movie. I definitely want to see it at least one more time just to let it sink in. For movies, for me, any movies that are 3 star or more deserve at least one more viewing, so that I can fully get everything that I want to see from the movie, because I may have missed something, may have overlooked something in the movie. So it's not that I'm going to see that in a movie theater, but for sure, whenever I can see that movie again, I probably will, just so that I have a well-rounded view of the movie. But for now, I thought The Revenant was good. Now, the one movie for the rest of January and most of February, it seemed like there's not, it's a dead season for movies. So there's not a heck of a lot of good movie came out, except for one. There's one that looked really good, 13 Hours. It's a true event with Benzagi. It's when I saw the trailer, it looked really good, but then I saw Michael Bay, and but it's probably one of the best looking Michael Bay movies. So unlike other Michael Bay's movie that I avoid, like The Plague, I think 13 Hours is something that could be on my radar to go see. I think it's coming out in 2 weeks. I could be wrong, but so that's the next movie. The next movie that I want to see is 13 Hours. I'm a big fan of a true event that happened. It's just like Black Hawk's Down, a Ridley Scott movie, one of his better movie. I enjoyed that movie, but for me, war movies, good war movies, I rarely see that. I rarely see a movie more than twice, because it's tough. It's tough for me. Those movie emotionally is very tough to watch, and I felt that it's get tougher and tougher each time I see it. So even movies that are not really based on somewhat true event, like Saving Private Ryan. I love Saving Private Ryan, and I saw that movie twice in the movie theater. But it was tough to sit through some of the scenes, and since then I have only seen small pieces of that movie here and there, but I never could bring myself to sit down and watch the whole movie. Same thing with Black Hawk's Down. I really enjoyed the movie. It's a painful movie to watch. It's hard to watch. And after 2 viewing, that was it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 4 star. But at the same time, I don't want to see it again, because it's just tough to see. So hopefully 13 Hours will be good. And if it's anything like other real life war movies, then I probably see it twice and then be done with it, because for me, those movies is just not easy to watch more than twice, even the good one. Something that was announced last week that I forgot to mention is a new season of Daredevil coming out March 18th. So March, you get that movie, and then shortly after that, you have the Batman versus Superman. So that's going to be a good few days. For sure, I will do my best to not binge through 13 episode of Daredevil, but I'm excited about the show. I hope other people are excited about the new season. I saw the teaser. I think it's neat how they, for those that have not seen the teaser for Daredevil season 2, go look it up on YouTube. It's there. It's basically just a recap of season 1 as far as the teaser. The only thing that they give is the ending. If you go all the way through the 1.5 minute teaser, at the very end you see the reveal of an image, which is kind of cool, but at the same time it's kind of, is that it? Well, maybe that's what they call a teaser. It's, to me, it was okay, it was kind of cool, but at the same time I wanted a lot more. I can't wait. I'm excited. I want to see how they're going to introduce the Punisher. I can't wait. I can't wait to see. I'm not sure. I heard a lot of discussion on how much the Punisher is going to be in the show, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's going to be like the key character, the main storyline, much like the Kingpin was in the first season. I had the feeling that the Kingpin will still be a major character in season 2, even if he's in jail. Okay, I have my own theory on how they're gonna involve um, the Kingpin. Of course, Vanessa, okay, his love, his wife, is gonna have a big role. She's gonna be the one pulling the string from the outside for the Kingpin. For sure, we're gonna see the Gladiator. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see the Gladiator in the first, maybe even the first episode. We'll see. We'll see how my prediction come through as far as Daredevil season 2, and then of course Elektra. I'm hoping that they just give you a little bit of Elektra, much like Rosario Dawson was. She was in 5 episode. So I don't want to see the full-blown romance with Matt Murdock, but we'll see. Other people may want to see all of that, and for me, something is worth taking its time to play out. I don't want to see Elektra getting introduced. I don't want to see the romance and the revelation of her skills. Not everything all at once. I haven't heard anything about Bullseye, so I have a feeling that Bullseye is not going to be in the show. At least I have not. If I'm wrong, let me know. I don't. I try to avoid hearing a lot of discussion on many superheroes related TV show or movies because I don't want to get spoiled of everything. So at least from what I can see and hear, I don't think I heard any actors was hired to do Bullseye. So Bullseye is not gonna be in season 2, from what I can tell. But who knows? Maybe he will be introduced at the very end, so that the whole story between Bullseye, Elektra, and Matt Murdock will play out in season 3. Should there be a season 3? I don't know. I'm curious to see how they will, how closely they will stick to the comic books as far as Elektra and eventually Bullseye, even the Punisher. It will be very interesting to see the Netflix take on those characters. So I'm excited about that. Of course, Batman versus Superman. I'm excited about that, but part of me is at the near level of exhaustion of superheroes movies. I'm not saying that I don't want to see anymore. It's just that my enthusiasms for these movies have diminished substantially over the past 3 years. Now, I'm excited, but at the same time, I was much more excited for Star Wars um, before compared to Batman versus Superman. I'm excited to see the movie, but at the same time, I'm not like eagerly going crazy like I did for Star Wars. Speaking of Star Wars, I think it's gonna have a very tough time breaking the record with Avatar. Avatar did 2.7 billion worldwide. Um, the Force Awaken own the U.S. record. It's already surpassed Avatar in the U.S., so it owned the record. But globally, I just don't see how the Force Awaken is going to surpass 2.7 billion unless everyone that loved the movie go see it at least one more time. There are still people that haven't seen the movie that want to see it. There's still some, not a lot. There's still some. Um, but last weekend, The Force Awakens opened in China, and it did something like 53 million. Yeah, not bad. Not. I think Disney would have hoped for more. I'm guessing. After all, they spent a lot of money and time trying to promote. Well, promote. They spent a lot of money and time promoting Star Wars. Um, that's why I think that's why they released the movie um, almost 3 weeks later than the worldwide release in all the other country, because they spent a lot of effort and time promoting, talk up the movie, trying to get people, famous Chinese entertainers, to appear with the stars and all that stuff to try to drum up excitement. And we'll see. Right now, I think the Force Awakens total box office is just under 1.8 billion. So it still need 900 million. Whew, that's crazy. That's a lot. I would be surprised if we can bring in another 100 million in the US. That would be pushing it, I think. I think a neat record for Force Awakens to have would be the first movie to bring in $1 billion at the ticket sales in the domestic market. That would be a tough record to break, because I think Avatar did something like 700 million, something like that. So it's surpassed Avatar by a long shot. Globally, though, it's going to be big issues. I just don't see how it can bring in another $900 million in the next 2 months, because I think once Batman versus Superman come out in March, it's gonna, for sure, it's gonna overtake the whole thing. Oh, TiVo is here. Tim, welcome.
Hey, Nick, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
How you doing?
Good. I don't have technical difficulties like last time.
I tried to do a live chat the other day and I failed miserably. It was embarrassing.
It happened. Like I said, I have done this. This might be my 15th live chat, and I have had trouble now 4 or 5 times where I don't know what the heck happened.
No, what happened was I scheduled an event.
Yep.
And I had problems getting it running. So by the time I got it running, the event ran past its scheduled time.
Yeah.
So eventually I got it to work, but when it runs past the scheduled time, it disables the live chat for the users. So I was like, what the hell? Because I found there was 2 ways. One is there's a live streaming option, but you need to have an encoder.
Yeah.
And that was just, man, I just literally spent and then it was funny is because I told people about it. So there was people talking amongst each other in the lobby, in the live chat, but we couldn't get it to work. But I promise tomorrow, we're going to do it again. And we're going to have a show every Tuesday discussing comic books that'll be coming out on Wednesday, and what people should look out for.
That would be fun. I would tune in, even though I don't buy anything new.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to do it on Wednesday because you have your live chat, and then Sunday, Comic Book Fanatics has their live chat. So, I want to support the community, and at the same time, I don't want to take up everybody's bandwidth. So,
yeah, it's tough. It's tough to squeeze in the time. I mean, I did it on Saturday and then some on Sunday, and there's plenty of bandwidth on Sunday. Everyone's still sleeping.
Especially during football season. I remember you asked me, I was like, oh, man, Nick, if I'm going to get up that early, I got to watch football. I can't do this.
A lot of people couldn't do it, because Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern time is fairly early. It's 8 o'clock your time, right? So,
yeah,
I don't expect people to get up that early. But, to me, that's easy for me. Sunday is the easiest day for me to do it because kids still sleeping. And there's nothing going on here on Sunday. So
especially now the football season's over for most of us.
Yeah. So how do you feel about LA Rams?
Well, I'm a Redskin fan, so I don't care. If anything, I'll be happy that if a football team comes here, that my team will at least come out here to watch them. I mean, in LA, I would say where I live in Orange County, there's probably more Charger fans than there are Ram fans. I mean, the Rams, they moved here in I think the 50s or 60s, and so their fan base left long ago. I remember the last Super Bowl when they were in against the Steelers in LA, and that was when Vince Ferragamo was quarterback and everything. And that
was
1979, I want to say 79 or 80.
Yeah, that was before I came to America.
Oh yeah, see, that's how old I am. I totally remember that when the Steel Curtain had their dynasties. I'm 44, so yeah, I remember that Super Bowl because I wanted Pittsburgh to lose because I kept on winning all the time.
Yeah,
so I wanted the Rams to win. And it's funny is a lot of people in Orange County are Charger fans because they figure it's close enough. So when they didn't have a team, they all started pulling for the Chargers, and then all the Raider fans were up in LA. And I purposely think they didn't want the Raiders here because of the mystique of kind of the bad boy image and everything, And I think they purposely didn't want the Raiders to come here, and I don't think the Raiders are going to stay in Oakland either. I think they're going to move. They maybe they'll go to St. Louis. They'll become the St. Louis Raiders.
Well, because St. Louis is trying to. St. Louis failed to keep the Rams because they didn't get the money in place fast enough, right?
Yeah,
they screwed up. So now they're having a couple $100 million allocated so that they can build a new stadium, all that stuff. So maybe it's a shame. It's a shame to me. It's I feel bad. I feel bad for every team that moved because I think it's a shame when Cleveland moved to Baltimore, when the Colts left. I mean, every time a team moves, I feel bad for the whole city because you're talking about decades of fan investment, right?
Yeah, wasn't when they moved to Baltimore, he did it really shady, like in the middle of the night. I remember they hated, I think it was Art Modell or whomever was the Ravens. I think it was the Ravens when he moved from.
Yep, yeah, Art Modell. That whole move was pretty ugly. That was probably the ugliest move because that was very abrupt. And the city of that whole Cleveland Brown moving to Baltimore, it was just ugly. I mean the Colt move was not pretty either, but that was well known and well discussed way ahead.
Yeah.
Just like the Rams, the Rams issue has been talked about for this past year, right? It's not a secret that the Rams have issues. You watch any of their games and half the stadium's empty.
Yeah, well, St. Louis is a baseball town. Even the whole state, because you have Kansas City. I mean, the Royals and the Cardinals, right? I mean, they're. That's why I don't think they can. I mean, wasn't Kurt Warner took them to the Super Bowl though 1 year, right? Or they won it when Kurt Warner was.
They won it, but ever since that team's gone with Marshall Faulk, and all the receivers left. Once that whole dynasty left, for the fans kind of left with that dynasty. It's a shame, It's like I said, Now this whole thing about how San Diego Charger can also be in LA, are they sharing the stadium? What are they talking about?
Yeah, they want to share it as because the stadium's going to be gigantic and it's going to be in Inglewood, which isn't even a nice part of town to begin with anyway. It's a pretty bad area. So they want to share it, and that's why they have like a AFC and an NFC team. I mean, if you think about it, the Giants and the Jets share a stadium now because it's a large metropolitan area.
It's going to be big money because then every weekend there's going to be a game, so it's not going to be. It's never going
to. Yeah, there's somebody at home every week. The funny thing is they wanted the Raiders and the Chargers to share a stadium, and I was thinking that's not going to work because they're rival fans. They're all going to kill each other.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, well, let's switch over to entertainment now. I have not watched that murder show on Netflix that you mentioned last week.
Making a Murderer, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that. It's on my list because I have been busy watching another show which is fantastic on Amazon Prime called Fortitude.
Fortitude? I haven't seen that. I haven't even seen the trailers for that. What's that about?
Yeah. It's a European TV show. Okay, so it's like a Danish or it's English based. Okay, so but it have a lot of mostly European, Norwegian, British actor and actress, and then there's one American, Stanley Tucci.
I know he is. Yeah.
I know his brother.
Really? Live person, huh?
I worked for his stepbrother for a few years in investment banking.
Ah.
But are you a fan of the original movie, The Girls with the Dragon Tattoo?
Yeah, the Norwegian version, right?
Yeah.
I actually like that better than the American version. Yeah.
Yeah, if you like the kind of show, the girl with the Kick the Hornet's Nest. There's 3 movies, right?
Yeah.
But if you like that kind of show, suspense, crime, thriller, then Fortitude might be something you enjoy.
Well, I'm gonna have to check that. I heard last week you were talking about the Towers. I've been watching that. The kind of revised history of Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan taking over. Yeah. I'm on like the 3rd or 4th episode. I really like it because I had read good things about the books, so I was really looking forward to it because it was kind of this alternative history, and I was like, man, that sounds fascinating. Philip K. Dick book, right? Did I say that right?
Yeah, but yeah, I'm glad you like it because I blew through the 10 episode in 3 days. I'm just like,
you know what? That's my problem. I don't like to binge watch because when I do, I'm I don't want to watch it too quickly because then I'm left with nothing, and I'm like, man, I have not. Like I did that with House of Cards. Oh my God, that was so good. That was I finished all the seasons in like 2 weeks. I played caught up, so I think it's like 3 seasons or whatever. Yeah. So I figured I space it out to where I think the next season starts in like 2 weeks. So I'm like perfectly set up now in tune.
Yeah, with the Man in High Castle, there was nothing else on TV, so I was just like, well, I guess I'm gonna binge through this in 3 days, and so I'm doing good with Fortitude. I have been pacing myself. I only saw 4 episodes so far, but it is really, I like it a lot because, like I said, if you like the crime, drama, suspense.
Yeah, I love. That's one of my favorite genres. Did you ever see The Bridge on FX?
Yeah. Yes.
That's excellent. I love that. Apparently, that's based on a European property too, like similar to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So now that so put that on your list. It's Fortitude. It's weird. The name was bizarre. Like Fortitude, and it turned out to be the name of the town. And it's like the most northern little town in the country. So it's like frigid polar bear, icy cold, snowy kind of scenery.
Kind of desolate, right?
Yeah, I mean, like a very and for a small town, they definitely populate that town with a lot of very interesting characters.
Yeah, so it's similar to like Fargo then, right? Kind of out in the darkness.
Yes. You have a lot of quirky characters. You have, everybody like I said, it's not like a show that have a tons of people. So everyone that appear on the scenes have a role. You know what I mean? Like there's no wasted dialogues. It's one of the shows where there's very few characters for a small town, but yet is a very intriguing mystery, and people with a lot of motives. Everybody have an angle kind of thing. So you kind of just like it. So far, after 4 episodes, I'm still guessing who done it.
I love a good whodunit. Is it an American production that's based in Europe, or is it European?
I think it's a UK production.
Okay, UK. Okay, that's one of my yeah.
I think it has the last Doctor Who in it.
Oh yeah.
I can't say more without spoiling it, but
Doctor Who did it.
Yeah, there is that actor. Like I said, I only recognize him. Well, I recognize quite a few other ones, but like I said, all the other actors that I saw are definitely people that I have seen in European movies.
Have you seen the new Sherlock Holmes?
Is that the one with Sir Ian Keller?
No. This is. Oh, I've seen that one too. That one's an excellent film where he's in his older age. No, there. It was just released on the BBC. It's the one with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, no, I have not. I have.
It's really good. So it kind of takes place in the original time of Sherlock Holmes. So the mid to late 1800s.
Is that the 2 or 3 seasons?
No, this is a brand new kind of. I think it's like the pilot or the premiere of the new season. But if you ever seen Sherlock, it doesn't really match. It has like a sporadic release schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So because Cumberbatch and the other guy, what's his name? God, who plays Watson? I mean, they're both big movie film stars now.
Yeah, the other guy, his biggest role was playing Bilbo, right?
Yeah, and now he's going to be in the Captain America Civil War movie, and of course, Cumberbatch is going to be Doctor Strange, which is Doctor Strange is my favorite comic book character of all time.
Doctor Strange was my, I would say he's my favorite. I would say that he's my newest love because to tell you the story, when I first collected comic books in 1981, I made a friend that also collect in the same grade and go to the same comic book store that I did, and his favorite character was Doctor Strange. And I remember, here I was being new to the hobby. I'm buying Fantastic Four, Iron Man, and he was ranting and raving about how great Doctor Strange was and how great Steve Ditko was. And he was, like I said, this is when I'm 14 years old.
So this was what, 1960?
1981.
Oh, okay.
And so so he lent me a bunch of Doctor Strange books. And I remember trying to... I had been to America barely 2 years. My English was not all that good yet. And so I'm trying to read this Doctor Strange story, and they were so bizarre. I'm like...
Oh, yeah, good luck, because you would probably wondering what the Hoary Host of Haggoth meant, or what's exactly. The Eye of Agamotto.
Exactly. I remember reading through the books, and this is like, I'm lost. I don't understand what is going on. Half of this language I don't understand. These terms are just bizarre. I mean, I liked the art. I thought he looked cool, but ultimately, I did not take my friend's advice to collect Doctor Strange. I'm just like, okay, if that's what you want to buy, that's cool. Thanks for lending me those books to read. Here they are back. You can have them back now. But that was it. And then I think I was mildly interested in collecting Doctor Strange again when I saw the ad for Frank Miller. If you remember, you might not remember. Before Frank Miller went over to DC, he was supposed to do Doctor Strange.
Really?
Yeah,
because he never did it. I don't think. Yeah,
he never did it. So there was actually ads in a few books that show Doctor Strange say coming to you soon with Frank Miller.
Oh, thank God he didn't do it. I don't think they would have been a good fit.
So, but then he left and went to did Ronin and whatever else. So I was mildly interested in that, but that was a fleeting thing. And then I think only when I think Paul Smith went over to do Doctor Strange for a few issues after he left the X-Men, was when I start to buy a few issues here and there. And then
the history of Doctor Strange, he hasn't, they haven't put him with good creators, unfortunately, but he always seems to do well as the as a team member. Like in Defenders, he was excellent. In the New Avengers, he was really good. I mean, one of the best current storylines, or prior to Secret Wars, was he lost the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme. And if you remember, Brother Voodoo took over as Sorcerer Supreme because Doctor Strange used the, they call it the, I think, like the evil Bible. He used basically dark magic to fight an opponent, and he won. And so the Vishanti took away the title, and I think the Ancient one too. And then in one of the New Avengers issues, he got the title back. But for a while, Brother Voodoo was Sorcerer Supreme, believe it or not. So people were buying up Sorcerer's Brother Voodoo books. But prior to that, one of my favorite Doctor Strange stories is Triumph and Torment. Torment and Triumph. It's Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom. It's a standalone graphic novel.
Yep,
Excellent story. I love that story. Yeah,
I like that. I like that a lot. And quite frankly, I think Doctor Strange, I agree with you, have been, for whatever crazy reason, has not been handled properly by many people for over many decades. Not just, as a fan of Doctor Strange, I'm blown away that he only met Mephisto once, right? In that book that we just mentioned, so to me, it's just like he's just one of those characters where, and even his group of bad guys are so cool, and yet they somehow don't land in other titles. Like there's no crossover of his realm with many other titles. From like to me, like Nightmare is awesome. Dormammu, however you want to call him, he's awesome. But yet, outside of Doctor Strange books, he's almost like non-existence.
Yeah, I mean, Dormammu is, basically like Mephisto. But if you see now, Marvel is starting to ramp it up because of the Doctor Strange movie. Yeah. And there was a series that came out. There was a miniseries that came out. I want to say in the mid 2000s, where they made him more of a, how do I say this, an action hero. Wong, he said he's also a master of martial arts, not just mystic arts. So, apparently Wong taught him Kung Fu. So just like the current series he's in, he wields a battle axe.
Wow.
And a sword. So they're trying to sell, before he's just kind of conjuring things. And I actually like what Bendis did in the Avengers title.
Yeah.
Every time he casts a spell, the dialogue box will come up and go, from page 43 of the book of Vishanti, the spell of blah, blah, blah. And I thought, wow, that's super cool. They actually really developed this kind of cool thing. And I was reading Cumberpatch in an article. He says that you're going to see lots of acrobatic hand movements when he's conjuring spells. And it made me think of like Kung Fu movies when they're doing, the hand. You call it Jung, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't know how to say it in English, but I know how to say it in Vietnamese. When they're doing it Jung, then they're gonna make it so his hand movements are gonna be like that. And I go, what? That's really cool, because it's got to be hard as an actor too, because you got to figure that's all gonna be post-production CGI. But I've always wanted Cumberbatch to play it. Whenever they announced the movie, I go, Cumberbatch has the gravitas to play the kind of serious character that Doctor Strange is. He's not cracking jokes like Ant-Man. He probably will, since it's a Marvel movie, but he also has that very serious look. Like in Star Trek, when he played Khan, he was horribly underused by J.J. Abrams, but he played it the best he could with what he was given.
He was every moment that he was on the screen, he owns it. He should have owned it. They should have put him a lot more on the screen.
Yeah, and that's how Doctor Strange would be, because before his transformation, he was this cocky, arrogant surgeon, right? And and he got in a car accident, so he had to go all the way to hit rock bottom before he can come back up again to be who he is. And that's this, that's why these Marvel origins are a bit different from DC origins, where DC origins are just, oh, the parents got killed and let's dump them with some chemicals and now they have powers, or there's, you know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of true with all superheroes. Their parents have to die, or somebody has to die to turn them into a superhero.
Now, the villain to the Doctor Strange movie has not been revealed officially, right? So we just know that Mordo is going to be there, but he's not the villain. We don't know if Nightmare or Dormammu is going to be the main villain yet, right?
We know who the actor is. It's the guy that plays Hannibal.
Yeah, and then there's Rachel McAdams.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, this film is probably one of the strongest casts for Marvel ever. So Benedict Cumberbatch, the guy that plays Hannibal, the guy that plays Baron Mordo, I can't pronounce his name, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Rachel McAdams, and Tilda Swinton, who's going to play the Ancient One. I mean, those are all they've been nominated for Academy Awards. That's an incredible cast.
I heard from other talk show that I saw that Rachel Adams might be playing Night Nurse.
Yeah, another Night Nurse. Yeah.
Yeah. So at first when I first heard of her name, I thought she's gonna be Clea, but I guess not. I guess.
Well, it's almost kind of too easy to call her a night nurse because Stephen Strange is just a doctor. I mean, everybody's a nurse around him, right?
Yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, for sure it's gonna be an origin movie. And if that's the case, I don't want them to waste Dormammu for the movie. Because to me, every Marvel origin movie is good, but the villain take the back seat.
Yes, yeah, that's the only complaint, is they're lacking in villains and
because of that, if that's the case, if the villain is going to be the secondary part of the movie, let's not waste Dormammu on this movie. Maybe for the sequel, then use a big storyline. But it's just like Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie. They didn't use any big villain because it's his origin. Same thing with Ant-Man. They use Yellow Jacket. There was like a secondary villain that they can just.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, Iron Man and I'm getting feedback. Hold on. Is that better now?
Yeah.
Iron Man and Ant-Man aren't known for their rogues gallery villains, especially Iron Man. Iron Man, the Mandarin, that's it. But I mean, the main problem with the Marvel Universe is their lack of villains, because basically Fox has all their good villains. With Fantastic Four, I mean, if they just get that back, they'll get Doctor Doom back. They can get Annihilus. They can get Galactus. I mean, those are great villains. And the X-Men, of course, they all have their villains. But I mean, I think probably with the Marvel properties, probably Red Skull is probably the most iconic villain. I mean, obviously it was Thanos, and everything is leaning toward Thanos. But I mean, they're gonna have to dig deep to find villains. If you think about the Captain Marvel movie coming up, who's her villain? You know what I mean? It's Black Panther. It's Claw. I mean, that's kind of obscure, right? I don't know, what else could there be? I mean, if they do Avengers, though, I mean, there's you think of Kang, the Conqueror, right? The High Evolutionary. I mean, there's some great villains that they could choose from.
Kang is going to be awesome. If I'm telling you, I'm rooting, because the current storyline with Thanos is going to run for another 6 movies, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully in 4 years, when this whole thing unfold and finish in 4 years, hopefully by 2020, we can finish up this Thanos storyline. I think the next one, I would love. Did you ever see the cartoon that I talk about quite often? The Avenger cartoon that
yes, the first series was excellent.
Yeah, that's the one where Kang was introduced.
Yeah, they had the Korvac saga. And then they blew it all up by having the stupid Avengers one where it's Falcon and Black Widow, but no guest stars. I mean, I absolutely love the first one. I thought it was.
The first one is awesome because I love the first one when they introduced Captain Marvel with the rope, the sentry, right? The sentry comes, and then that was just awesome. To me, those could be awesome movies. Okay, I mean, that whole Kang saga that they did for the cartoon, that could have been easily.
You know why it was so good? Because it was a bit more adult, because it was on, I believe, on Cartoon Network. Once they went to Disney XD, they toned it down and they made just the lineup for that you saw in the movies. But I mean, I thought the first one was excellent. I mean, you could think, oh, they're not going to do that. And they go, wow, I can't believe they're actually pulling these storylines from, the comics that we saw. It was pretty amazing to me.
It's awesome. I mean, I have recommended that cartoon series so many times to everybody. Everyone that is a comic book fan that haven't seen the cartoon, I'm be right there to say that you got to watch the series. It's a 2 seasons. It's on Netflix. Watch it because it is awesome. It's the best Marvel cartoon ever, in my opinion.
I put it right up there with anything DC's done as far as the Justice League series.
Yeah, but to me, it's the best Marvel. And the other best, the second best Marvel cartoon is the Spectacular Spider-Man that they canceled maybe 5 years ago.
In the 90s? The one in the 90s?
It came out 2000, 2002.
Yeah, I remember they used to have some really good Spider-Man cartoons, and they would have Mobius on there, Craven on all the amazing Spider-Man storylines we grew up with or reading. They put on cartoons, and it was just like I remember it was on the afternoons, or on the Fox channel or something like that. Not like Fox the channel, but the Fox affiliate. And I remember, Marvel used to really care about their animated properties, but once Disney took it over, they kind of Disneyfied it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and then who knows that convoluted rights to the cartoon, and Fox and Sony. I don't even know who owned the rights to the cartoon as far as who can do what. And I think
anybody can do anything. Marvel has. Remember, they had this. They had a Fantastic Four comic or cartoon, and it was done in an anime style. The last iteration of it, and I thought that was pretty good. The art was fantastic, but apparently they're. I actually applied for a job at Marvel in Manhattan Beach, which is out here in Southern California, and because their main office is in New York, but the animation and gaming division is in LA. And I saw it on Disney's website, and I was like, man, I'm going to get a job there. But I didn't have enough Mac skills. This is back when I was doing IT support, and I was mostly on the Windows side, and they wanted somebody who knew Mac. And I was like, oh, God, come on now. I just want to work there. I don't want to do anything with Macs. God, that would be awesome.
I'm saying hi to Comic Crack, Comics Quest, and Mr. J. We have 3 viewers, my small millions of followers.
You know what? I am going to post on my Instagram. We're going to get some more people on here. I'm going to tell them we're talking comic books and movies, and they're all going to jump on your page, Nick.
Oh, good God. But yes, I can't say enough that, if you haven't watched the Avengers cartoon, please do, because I think it's a must-see. I rant and rave about that series nonstop for many years now, and I was so bummed out when they canceled it.
Yeah, I was totally bummed out, and then I got excited when it came back, and then I got disappointed again when I saw it.
Now, speaking of DC cartoon, did you ever watch the Green Lantern one that they canceled 3 years ago?
Oh, the one that really kind of everything was CGI, right? It was all computer animated.
No. No, I don't think so. I think it's just a cartoon. It's a good looking cartoon. But I like that series. It came out, I think, 6 years ago. And it lasted for like 2 seasons. And once again, the Cartoon Network canceled it.
I think I know what you're talking about. And everybody, all CGI. Now, if I recall.
Yeah, it could be. Like I said, I can't tell. I just know that it looked good.
Yeah, he looked like Buzz Lightyear, very square jaw, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it for a little bit, but after a while, the animation style really bothered me. I didn't like that it was 100% CGI. I do like traditional animation as well.
CGI. I did not know that. Now,
yeah.
How about that? The last Batman cartoon that got canceled was the one. It was a bizarre series that lasted basically one season. Did you watch that one?
Was that Batman Beyond?
No. This is it actually have a really good voice. It's a strange series. I can't remember the name. Batman something. For those that on the chat board, if you know what I'm talking about, it came out I think 2 years or 3 years ago. 2 years ago. I don't think it lasts even like 15 episodes. It was a Batman cartoon with really good animation. It's very different, but it used completely different villain. It created like a whole like the main villain was somebody called Mr. Anarchy.
Wow, what channel was it on?
Cartoon Networks.
Really? Because normally all the DC animated stuff like Batman and Justice League does really well, and it doesn't get canceled.
Comic Crack say, was that the one with Katana in it? That's his Japanese girl psychic with the sword.
Yeah, she was part of the Outsiders. She's in the new Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, I mean it has like I said, it's a weird show because like I said, it had Mr. Anarchy as a villain, and it has a pig and frog. Like I said, there's some, and then Egghead. There's a big fat egg as a villain. And the only one they cancel it when it was actually getting good, because finally they get to the Deathstroke. The first villain that was have any kind of similarity to the comic books was Deathstroke, and that was a really good 3-part story or 2-part story where Deathstroke come to have revenge on Alfred. I mean, it was a bizarre show because, like I said, up until the last 2 episodes with Deathstroke, the rest of the villain that they use in every episode was like bizarre. It was like they create their own rogue gallery.
Yeah, I remember the last really good DC animated series I liked was Young Justice.
Okay, I like that too.
Yeah, and it was a shame that they canceled it right when it was getting good. So I don't know what happened. It seems like all their animated properties just got canceled. I mean, they went with what, Go Teen Titans, or I think maybe they went to focus more on animated features as opposed to they did with series. Because you got to imagine, the production team for animated any type of animated movie or series is a lot of people it takes to make these features and or series. So maybe they were, in between the move between New York to Burbank. Like, did you know the Convergence series was meant to be just a stopgap while they were moving from New York to LA?
Ah.
That's the only reason they made it, but then it got so popular that they tried to milk it more, and that's why the Convergence storyline is horrible, because they never meant it to be this kind of wide and broadening. It was just saying, hey, let's make this 12-issue series while we're moving, because right now we're in flux, and then it just became this thing that they couldn't control anymore, and that's why the story was so convoluted. Just like Marvel jumping the shark with Secret Wars, it took so long that they had to relaunch all the books before Secret Wars got finished.
Well, Red Vitamin Blue, Brian, said that the cartoon I'm talking about is called The Batman. I think he's right, The Batman. So him, if you haven't heard of it, look it up. I think you like it. It's very unique. It's another one of those series where I wish they let it run longer, because it was starting to get very interesting, and then they cancel it.
Oh yeah, it looks like I'm looking at it right now. I don't know. I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, it was on at the most bizarre hours. It was like my son and I watched the first episode, and we tried to look cool, and we had such a hard time catching the second, the third, the fourth, because it seemed like Cartoon Network couldn't find the right time and place to put it, and they eventually kill it.
Yeah, probably because they're trying to figure out if it's for kids or for adults, because Cartoon Network has a lot of adult programming as well. So I mean, I remember when Cartoon Network first started airing the Clone Wars, and I was like, man, this is awesome. And I was thinking, man, are kids watching this? Because I just saw guys get stabbed through their face. I'm thinking this is pretty cool, but I'm thinking I don't know if this is for kids or not. And then
there's the same thing with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series that's going on right now, which is pretty good. I actually enjoy the cartoon that's going on right now. For Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Is it more adult like the original comic books?
No. But I think it's better than the 80s cartoon.
Well, that's not saying much. The 80s cartoon. I was a fan of the Turtles before they were, pizza-eating cowabunga guys back in the original black and white Eastman and Laird books. I mean, those are pretty dark and violent. The giant magazine format.
Yeah.
And then right around the 80s, they started making these kind of kid-friendly movies, and it deviated totally from how the comic books are. But, I guess as adults, we shouldn't be complaining because we're talking about comic books, right?
Yeah. Nate's here, comic preacher. Nate, have you and Nate get together yet? Is there a date?
Oh yeah, I talked to the preacher man before. Well, we haven't had a live chat, but we always comment on each other's videos.
Well, hopefully you and him can get together and do a live show from California.
I told him if he wants to come down to Orange County, we can put him on the Lords of the Roundtable discussion. What do you say, preacher man?
Yeah. Speaking of the Lord of the Round Table, how far are you from Big To Do Shop?
5 minutes.
Really? Oh man,
yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'm super close. I mean, so I work from home, so he opens the shop at 11:30. I'm there like 11:31, and so
you're hanging out. You're just chilling.
Well, on Wednesdays it's kind of hard because the shop is really busy. But on like a Tuesday or Thursday, I'll come in there and we'll just shoot the shit for a couple of hours.
Awesome, man. That'll be fun. I'm telling you, my shop here is just brutal. I mean, I have been wanting to do a video where I show the inside of my shop, just so that people see what I have here. But I'm not sure.
You're in Orlando, right?
No, Sarasota.
Oh, Sarasota. Well, you know what? It's funny. There's a lot of, I sell a lot of comic books, and I swear to God, half of them are in Florida when I ship.
There's a lot of collectors out here. That's why, trust me, you don't want to do Craigslist here. It's in Florida. It's brutal, okay? Half of the time when I go to Craigslist to check out comic books, I see dozens and dozens of ads from other collectors and dealers looking for books. So the competition is fierce out here. I'm not sure. I don't know about California, but I just know that
it is. It is.
Yeah, I can call anybody, and if I don't get there the next day, boom, gone.
Have you ever done the CGC walkthrough service? Where they have same day service? I mean, because they're right there in Florida, right?
Yeah, they are about 15-minute drive from my house.
And how does that work? Have you ever tried it, the walk-in service? Where does it like same day?
You can walk in there, drop the books, go to lunch, come back in a few hours, and it's done. Yeah.
See, that's awesome. I mean, and then I think CBCS is out there as well.
Yeah, CBCS is about exactly 1 hour from my house. I have drove there 3 times. So yeah, it's about 1 hour drive. I'm just like you. I work from home. I've been doing it for 16 years. And so
wow.
for me to drive anywhere is like, that's just a burden.
Yeah, but you have to leave the house because you get cabin fever stuck at home,
Well, I do. I go out, like I said, I run out. I go see movies. That's why I do a lot of movie review because, I'm home. I can go see a movie at lunchtime on Friday when it first open, right? I can catch a matinee and pay $8 and go see a movie and eat lunch and then go back to work. But I go out, like I said, I get out of the house as often as I could, but mostly like, grocery shopping, taking my son to school. But, in my younger days, when before I get married, I used to take my laptop and go sit at Starbucks for 8 hours a day. Because I couldn't stand looking at my walls for that long. So I would go to Starbucks and hang out there. I become a regular at my Starbucks for years because they see me there from 9 to 5. But no, CGC is quite a beautiful building. I'm telling you, if anyone has ever come out to Sarasota to visit me, I will definitely take you for a ride to CGC. It's only 15 minutes, not a big deal.
Is it a big place?
It's big, but believe it or not, the comic book area is the smallest area of the whole compound.
I mean, can you do they give you tours? Can you pay to go take a tour and see
No.
the guys that are giving me low grades?
No. See, well, you gotta understand, CGC is part of the big grading company that grade coins.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And the coin area is much bigger, and it's all fenced off with security gates and all that stuff. So there's definitely not that I am aware, but as far as CBCS, you can get a tour. I can take anyone there and we can walk around and see everything.
Can you imagine security or the amount of insurance that they have to insure their business for because of all the books they'll have at any given time? That's a crazy thought. Like, I can imagine, you know what? I'm going to make a movie, like a heist movie that kind of breaks into CGC and to try to steal some comic books. Like the Italian Job, but for comic books, trying to break into CGC. Yes,
well, the biggest thing at both CGC and CBCS is the vault.
The vault.
It's a bigger vault than most banks.
Really?
Believe it or not.
Please, Nick, tell me more. I need to find out. Tell me how.
Let's plan a heist. Well, let me put it this way. Both CGC and CBCS at any given time can have literally 5,000 books in their vault.
Wow.
Okay. And the vault is very well organized with boxes, label, all that stuff. So it's like a big room. It's like it's the vault itself is a big room with tables and shelf and all that stuff. So like I said, I know that it's probably the most expensive thing that CBCS had to build to get that office up and running. That's the most important thing, the vault.
Yeah.
So yes, we can do a heist. No.
We're the Oceans 2. We need a third, maybe Preacher Man. Yeah. Maybe the Oceans 3.
So and CGC, I have never seen the vault. CGC does not allow me to go past the. I'm telling you, CGC, the lobby of CGC is as nice as most fancy hotel.
Really?
Oh yeah, they have fancy. Well, it's not huge, but beautiful. Like the way the ceiling, the everything is, and the floor, the furniture, the fancy TV.
Hold on, Nick. Let me turn on the light. It's getting dark. It's finally getting dark here in California.
Comic Crack. I thought CGC might be the same setup. CGC setup is much bigger than CBCS, so it's much more room. I think CBCS for the most part underestimated the demand, so the space that they got was not as big as they should have. So it's very, it's just one big open area with, when I was there, when I was at CBCS, I was there at the same time they just received a 50,000 collection.
Holy cow.
It was insanity. there was 50,000 books on the floor from one guy.
Did it get a preacher man, comics preacher, can actually speak on this? We were talking to, I think his name was Steve Watson on YouTube, and we were talking about pedigrees. And I think if he submits 50,000 books, he could probably get a pedigree label for his collection, I would imagine, right?
Well, it depends on, see, pedigree, it has more to do with big books. You know, if I bring 50,000 bronze, copper, and modern books, I won't get a pedigree. Pedigree has more to do with, you know, the breadth of keys, especially Silver Age books. You know, like most, I think most pedigree that we saw either had to have mega Golden Age Grail, like, you know, the My High, right?
Yeah.
Or you have all of the, not all, but many Silver Age keys from the Fantastic Four 1 to Avenger 1, you name it. But the last 3 or 4 years, there has not been a heck of a lot of any pedigree. Can you hold for a second?
Sure. Well, in that case, I'm going to post a link for the folks in the chat, because I just saw an article where somebody actually posted they're selling a Marvel collection of every book since Fantastic Four #1. Let me see if I can find it for you guys.
Yeah, it was for 200,000.
200,000, yeah, and to be honest with you, I think that's overpriced, because if you say it says most of the older books are not in good condition, and I'm thinking that's a lot of junky filler books, right? For every FF1, you're gonna have like the Human Fly 1 through 17, or you know, some other. Yeah, here it is. Here, complete collection of Marvel comics. Every comic since the same collector basically who's selling off his collection. He's had. Let me see. So if I read here, everything since Fantastic Four #1, every single Marvel comic up to 2015. Let me see if I can post it in the chat so you guys can see the article.
Yeah, for sure. I saw that earlier today in the CCC forum. Somebody post a link. You know, it's hard for me to value that collection. For me, if I was a dealer, okay, and someone tell me that, you know, that's a deal, the first thing I would do is book a flight.
Yeah.
I would book a flight right away and tell the seller that give me 48 hours, okay? I will get there tomorrow. I will go through it and then give you an honest bid. But until I see it and flip through the books, at least the 50 or so big keys, I'm not gonna try to value that stuff, because like I said, it's too tough. But I'm guessing they did their homework enough to throw in a value of 200K. I can only guess, you know. I mean, you can throw out something ridiculous like that and think that. But then who knows, right? It could be somebody crazy that just say, I'm gonna get 200.
Somebody who wins Powerball. That's an easy
if I win, oh my goodness, if I win Powerball, let me put it this way: if I win Powerball, every one of my subscriber will get something.
I was gonna everyone on Instagram, I'd get them all Amazing Fantasy 15. I mean, geez, they're only, you know, $50,000, right? I got $800 million. What are you gonna do with it all? So let me ask you. Here's a hypothetical question for you, Nick. So let's say you could cherry pick through this collection of 200,000 comics, and they told you you could only have one series from there. What would you pick?
Spider-Man.
Ah, see, that's good. I would pick Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I would pick Spider-Man because, you know, Spider-Man, through all of my years of selling, Spider-Man seemed to sell the fastest at the best price. Low grade, mid grade, high grade, it's going. You know, I have a hard time selling low grade Avengers, Daredevil, many other Marvel titles. If you have low grades that are basically a dime a dozen on eBay, right? You can get them for $5 or cheaper. But when it comes down to Spider-Man, even junky stuff, Silver Age, they can go fairly quickly, even for $10, $15, $20, and non-keys. They go fast. So for me, if I was going to be trying to make a quick buck, even if I was going to buy for myself, I would grab all the Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man has always sold well. I mean, I remember, God, prior to the Avengers movies, Avengers back issues like Silver Age, just dirt cheap. And then, and I'm glad because Fantastic Four is one of my favorite books of all time. When I first started collecting, and now lots of Fantastic Four keys are getting hot because of the Inhumans movies, right? It's always, if you think about the first appearances in the Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, Galactus, Black Panther, the Inhumans, the Watcher, and then the individual appearances of the Inhumans like Medusa, Gorgon, the Adam Warlock. I mean, it just issues from 1 to 100 of Fantastic Four are easily some of the best keys that you can get if you're a Marvel collector. And plus, I love the cosmic side of the Marvel universe, so
yeah,
a lot of key issues in there.
Yeah, for sure the second on my list would be Fantastic Four. First would be Spider-Man. Hopefully there'll be Amazing Fantasy 15 in there. But Fantastic Four would be close second, and then third, I would just have to go with sentimental reason, the X-Men.
Well, you can't go wrong with X-Men. I mean, all the way up to 67, and then from the Claremont run from like 94 to 142. I mean, God, those are some of the best stories and high value books that you could find. I'm trying to think of what other long run of God, I can't really. I mean, yeah, really not anything else. I mean, Daredevil was probably the only other one that had a long run for a while. I mean, there's so many reboots of Marvel. That's what really irritates me with Marvel. It's like, if you try to look up a Captain America, there's easily 6 volumes of Captain America books. So, I mean, just to find like which one, because they were constantly rebooting it, and then you get lost with when it's like Captain America 1, which volume? 3, 4, or 5? Because they were all in the span of like 5 years. I mean, that was the one thing that DC does well before the New 52 was they kept their numbering sequence. So if you recall, I think Detective and Batman were like way up there, like 700 plus issues. And I think definitely Superman, Action Comics, and I think Wonder Woman. And then they blew it all up when they started the New 52 and they started from scratch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I just told the whole message board that if I win the lottery, there'll be a key book for every subscriber.
All right. All right. Do we get our choice? Do we get to pick our key?
Well, what I will do is everyone can name, like, within reason, right? Because I can't get everyone Fantastic Four #1. There's not enough.
Can you have $800 million?
Well, there's not enough copies out there to get them. That's the thing. I mean, like I said, I can get them, but I don't think I can go out there and get 1,000 Fantastic Four #1.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I've seen your collection. You have pretty much most keys that most people want. What's on your wish list, or what are your grails that you do not currently have, or you had at one point that you want to get back?
Oh, if I had to name something that I had, but I would like to have a copy again, would be X-Men 1. I sold both my copies long ago. Well, I wouldn't say long ago. I'd say 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So if I have, I put that on my search list of things I want to buy, like a mid-grade, like a 5.0 to a 6.0 range. To me, that's a sweet spot for Silver Age mega keys.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean,
I don't need 9.0. I don't need 8.0. Sure, 7.0 would be nice, but I take a 5 as long as it's white and not yellow and brown and tan. It's in many X-Men 1. When you have that white covers, you tend to have a lot of flaws that just look ugly. So X-Men 1 would be something that I love. Many of the stuff that I want that I never own, most likely I will never own because they are just way too expensive now. Like I passed on so many All-Star 8. I passed on so many Wonder Woman 1 when I was younger. I'm telling you, just a few years ago, I passed on an All-Star 8, a 3.0 copy. It was like for like $3,000.
Oh.
And I passed on it. Now that book is like 30,000 or something crazy. You know, I don't know. I don't know what a 3.0 go for now, but it's a lot more than $3,000.
Oh no, I was talking with some people or friends earlier, and I was looking at the numbers from Comic-Con, and it says the year-to-date number of amount of books sold as compared to 5 years ago, compared to 10 years ago, compared to 15 years ago, and I said, wow, we are in the current boom. This boom is probably bigger than the boom in the 90s, because this boom is really at the touch of your fingertips. In the 90s, your boom was how far you could drive, because you couldn't go on eBay, and there wasn't dozens and dozens of websites that allowed you to buy books, and not even that, to buy limited edition books like Dynamic Forces and all these other limited editions you could buy. Back then, you could only get your books and your variants from shops. I'm living in the Bay Area. I used to drive around. In San Jose, where I live in Silicon Valley, there was literally 8 shops that I could drive to. That during the boom back then. And now I think with the movie industry and the internet driving sales and variant craziness going again, I mean, the boom is happening again, but I think it's sustained and it's here to stay. I mean, it's like everybody collects now. It's crazy. I mean, it's, you know, it's not like it's chic to be geek is probably the best way of saying it, you know. The geek will inherit the earth.
Well, I had to go in 10 minutes. Okay, it's 8:34, so 8:45 I gotta shut it off. Gotta get my son in the shower and get ready for him to go to school tomorrow. But yes, if I'm hoping, praying that one of us geek in this community will win the lottery. I have no idea if other people will be so generous to give a nice gift to everybody. But to summarize, what I will do is I will ask everybody to name something from Marvel or DC in the Silver Age, whether it's Fantastic Four #1 or Amazing Fantasy 15 or whatever, X-Men 1, whatever. And then I will do my best to satisfy the needs of everyone, all 1,000 and whatever subscriber I have.
You know what? I will do the same. I only have 800, but I'll if I win the lotto, I'll tell them, shoot me a link to an eBay auction and I'll buy it for them.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's.
I mean, it can't be ridiculous. So if somebody's, wants a 9.9, that's $1 million. That somebody's overpriced. It has to be in GPA range.
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, that's why I say, Silver Age. I can't. If someone say I want an Action 1, sorry, that Action 1 is gonna be mine.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? The funny thing is, those high books you'll never see on eBay because of the cost that it would cost. They would probably put it to Heritage Auctions, but I'm trying to figure out who charges more, Heritage Auctions or eBay after PayPal fees and everything.
Well, as a buyer, I guess it's, if we have that much money, we can just wire the money, right? We don't care.
Yeah.
I would prefer not to deal with PayPal and eBay and all that stuff. I would just, call Metro, direct line, and say, Metro, I got, $80 million to spend this year.
Yeah, for that amount of money, I will fly and pick up the book personally if I won the lottery.
Fly to Metro in New York and say, show me your vote.
Yes.
You know what I would do? I will buy out the entire Metro original art on the wall. I will make it offer. I will make it offer.
Yeah, for that amount of money, I'll just hire Jim Lee and whomever just to create a new comic book for me. Call it the Lords of the Long Box variant. That's, you know what I mean? I'd say I want my own special variant.
New Mutant 98 for everyone.
I figured that's cheap. That's like $1,000. I can easily do that.
Oh yeah, you don't need $800 million to do that. You can just do that with $80 million.
You know what? There's so many of them out there. That's why it's an easy book to get to everyone. There's 2,000 in the CGC registry at 9.8, and it's amazing. Yeah. It's still like a $750, $800 book.
Yeah, it's but on any given moment, you probably can round up like 100 copies of that book pretty easily. You know, you might have it would be a hard to round up, say 25 copy of Fantastic Four #1.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But you know, to get the 100 copy of New Mutant 98, not a problem. You can just go on eBay. You
I
know,
could go to Rob Liefeld's house. I bet he's squirreling them away somewhere in his basement.
no, it's like I said, we can all dream. You know, I play the lottery every week, so it's not like, you know, I don't play. I rarely ever wins. I win maybe $50 here and there. You know, the last time I won $50, I forgot to turn it in, and I waited too long and it expired.
Oh wow! What is it, like 90 days?
I was so bummed out. You know, I put it in my drawer, you know, and I completely forgot about it. And it was, to be exact, it was $66. That was my award. And I remember I had like 90 days in Florida to claim it. And then for whatever reason, I completely lost track of it. And then when I found it, it was like 2 days after the due date. And I called the lottery office up, and they're like, sorry, y'all.
So normally when I win anything, I'll just buy more tickets anyway. You know what I mean? It's like if you win $10-15, you're like, oh, just you know, give me some other tickets since nobody won. So you hear about the 5 people? I think was it 5 or 8 people hit all the numbers except for the whatever the magic number in the last one.
The Powerball.
Yeah. They each got $1 million. So
nice.
Not too bad. Yeah.
I can do that.
Hell yeah, I can.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
I mean, the key is if you win, not in $1 million, but, you know, if you win a large amount of money, you don't need to invest or open business. Put it in a safe fund that's guaranteed to make you 1% or 2%. But if 1 or 2% of $500 million is a lot of money, you could live off that interest. You know, there's no need to open up extravagant businesses.
No need to risk anything. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Why complicate your life? I would open up a comic book shop just so I have somewhere to hang out all day. You know what I mean?
No, like I said, I would buy Metro so that I can look at, because Metro Vault and area, the store is so awesome with all the original arts and everything. I just buy out the whole lot, and that's gonna be my store. I'm just gonna hang with Metro. I will have all those.
There's one in Hong Kong too.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, Tim, I have to run soon. So thank you everybody for joining me. Hopefully we can do this again next week, Tim. It's always fun to have you. And if you do a chat, when are you doing a chat tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to do a test run tomorrow. I'll talk about comics, but I think a weekly show is going to be every Tuesday night to talk about the books that are coming out on Wednesday and what we think are, you know, good books to go out and get. So this way, maybe the new collectors can arm themselves with, you know, valuable information, you know, so they don't get first, you know, they know what books to get, what variants to get, and make sure they're not overpaying for them, you know, because the key is after that variant is hot, you're going to be paying too much. You need to get the variant before it gets hot. You know what I mean? By Thursday, that thing is, you know, like the silk variant that came out today for the J. Scott Campbell. It's selling right now on eBay right around $90 to $100. Yeah, and it's only because it's J. Scott Campbell. That's it.
Well, you know, I'm tempted. I was tempted to get that Frank Miller variant for Dark Knight.
The one at 500.
Yeah, the one that went for like about $100 on eBay.
Yeah. The white cover one, right? With really bad.
Yeah, the one that had Batman crouching down with the fist. That looked awesome.
Yeah.
I was tempted. I was tempted a few times when I saw it for like $100. I'm just like, no, must say no.
Yeah, because you got to think that's probably going to plummet in price in the next 6 to 8 months, where you can take that money and invest in a Bronze Age key that has room to grow and will stay hot, like a first appearance as opposed to a miniseries. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what I think, at least. Yeah.
So far, I have been able to resist buying that book, and now that the thirst for that book is gone. So, whew, thank goodness. But when it first came out, the first week or two, I was so tempted. You know, every time I go on eBay, I'm just like, that book looks so hot. I must.
Tell you what, man, if I win Powerball, I'll buy you 10 9.8s.
All right, man. Gotta run. Thank you, Tim. I will tune in next Tuesday to see your show.
All right, maybe even tomorrow night we're going to do a test run. So hang on by, folks.
I would drop by and watch and listen to the chat. It's always fun. I'm telling you, if I ever go to California, I would love to appear in the round table.
The open invitation for anybody can come down here. Just give us some time in advance, and you could be part of the round table.
Well, I hope Comic Preacher will make it down there. It might be a few hour drive for him, but
yeah, LA to Orange County is always a couple hours.
Yeah, it's a couple hours. But hey, if I was like, I drive 2 hours to Orlando all the time, so it's not a bad drive, right?
Well, it is here because it's always traffic, and it's bad traffic. It's traffic that makes you want to shoot people. That's why there's so many freeway shootings.
Well, anyhow, thanks, man.
All right, have a good night, Nick.
Yeah. Night, everybody. Ciao.
Peace.
Yep.